Think TV, brought to you by McMaster University.
Hamilton Economic Summit with host Dr. Nick Bontis, bringing you innovation, jobs, and prosperity. Welcome to Think TV.
Innovation fuels sustainable growth. It's what provides solutions to the challenges of our age: energy, water, disease, and transportation, to name a few. It's what generates jobs and community prosperity. Yet innovation needs a supportive environment, an environment that enables people with diverse ideas to collaborate on discoveries, an environment that encourages risk-taking and rewards success. So where does this environment exist? In cities, dense urban centers. Yet are all cities equal contributors to innovation? And how does Hamilton stack up? What do local government, education, and business bring to the table? Answers next as we discuss innovation in Hamilton on Think TV. With us in the studio are Dr. David Wolf, a professor of political science at the University of Toronto and an expert on cities; Chris Murray, city manager for the City of Hamilton; and Dr. Mo Elbastawi, vice president of research and international affairs at McMaster University. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome.
I'm going to start off with David and a quote in your book, 21st Century Cities in Canada, The Geography of Innovation. Here's the quote: "Cities are the dominant sites for economic activity, the places where leading-edge innovation generates new ideas, new products, and new industries." What makes cities the hotspots for innovation?
The concentration of people and firms. It's the proximity that's possible in cities that brings people together, creates a certain ferment, a degree of interaction, and breeds new ideas and contributes to the growth of new firms and new industries.
So concentration of innovation and entrepreneurs breeds more innovation and entrepreneurs.
It generates ideas. It generates cross-fertilization across similar and related industries. There's a long literature that documents the extent to which having similar firms in a city contributes to their growth prospects by providing them with both buyers and suppliers inputs that they need to grow their firms. But also when you get firms in related industries, that's what creates the potential for new ideas emerging out of the potential cross-fertilization across those existing industries.
So David, the natural big question is, how does Hamilton stack up? I mean, what's our position in this nation?
Hamilton is situated as a conventional middle-sized city in the Canadian context. Like many other middle-sized cities that were manufacturing centers, it grew up in its current location because of its proximity to transportation routes, traditionally the harbor and water transportation, and then later the railways. The steel industry grew out of its role as servicing the railroad yards for the railway industry. And the challenge that Hamilton faces is similar to that of many other traditional manufacturing cities at the end of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st. As manufacturing fades, the question comes, what's going to emerge to take the place of the jobs that traditionally existed in those industries, and how is the city going to be able to use its existing knowledge and research infrastructure to generate the new ideas and to grow those new ideas into concrete businesses that can provide employment for the next generation.
Okay, so let's hear from the city itself. We heard water and rail, starting with steel, and now momentum into new knowledge-intensive industries. How's the city doing there, Chris?
Doing quite well, I think. If you look at the last 10 years in terms of where the jobs have been occurring, certainly the recession has had an impact on the country, but if you look at Hamilton and look what's been happening with our institutions, healthcare, education, and even manufacturing. I mean, the green industry is starting to take hold here in Hamilton, so we've fared quite well. But everything that you're hearing, I think, is absolutely true, and what's important about it is that we acknowledge that our ability to work together is going to be key.
Chris, can you talk a little bit about how we operationalize these innovation partnerships?
The city has a role to play, and we realize it's more than just saying that we're a partner. It is about coming to the table with the levers that we can use to help innovation. And so it's not just about money. It's also about the legislative responsibilities that we have to make things easier for business to settle here and for research to take place. And for us to play a role in that and making sure that it's not about red tape, it's really about moving the agenda of the city forward.
Mo, my favorite man on campus. How does McMaster University operationalize its interaction with the city?
I should say first that McMaster believes very strongly that we have a responsibility and a role for the social and economic development of the communities that we live with. So that's very important, and it's a key driver for us. The partnership with the city makes sense, and I should say that these partnerships are essential in today's economy and to getting things done. So one of the things that we're trying to do now is actually to start to locate some of our research initiatives outside the main campus. So MIP is a very classical demonstration of this. The Innovation Park was created along these lines. But we believe that there are other opportunities. There are other opportunities that deal essentially with the knowledge economy, digital media downtown, wastewater technology in the east end of the city, automotive research, green automotive research at MIP. These are examples of what we can do as a university to act as a magnet to SMEs to locate and be next these research infrastructures.
You know, it's a smart strategy, right? Because extending the footprint throughout the region allows us to make those partnerships with people that perhaps we wouldn't have interacted with. Let's go back to the McMaster Innovation Park, because there are a couple of centers in there now that are very, very high profile. Could you speak to those, please?
Sure. The first one, of course, is CanMet, which was officially opened a short while ago. CanMet is a premier materials research institute, if you like, in the country. And it complements very well the research that happens at McMaster in material science and engineering. We plan in the very near future to announce actually the creation of the McMaster Automotive Resource Center. And that will be a focus of automotive research, but along the lines of hybrid technologies, electrical vehicles, new software for automotive for safety purposes, and so on. And we think that this actually could act again, I'll use the word magnet, as a magnet for companies to come and locate in this area, to be next this pool of talent.
Yeah, well, it's an amazing story. I mean, new material science, hybrid cars, I mean, these are bleeding edge technologies, and they're right in our city.
Absolutely.
Back to you, Sir David. Building partnerships, you mentioned, was very, very critical. It's got to be more than just holding hands with each other. I mean, what are the ways that we can actually do that?
Successful partnerships need long-term commitments. They need stability and they need continuity. Having the city and having the university at the table are critical for building an effective economic partnership in Hamilton. But if you look at successful examples of other cities and regions around the continent where these kinds of partnerships have succeeded, they've had business at the table as well. For a partnership like this to really play a role in transforming Hamilton and creating its economic future, business leaders have to step up, they have to take a leadership role, and they have to make a long-term commitment to growing those partnerships.
Well, business got to come up to bat, is what you're saying. So to you and the city now, how are we supporting business being able to do business easier here in the city?
We have an open for business policy, which is something that is seeing coordination of all of our services done in a more effective manner. So it is about coming through the front door of City Hall and knowing that there's someone there that's going to take your request and take it seriously and deal with it quickly. And so there is a sense of urgency amongst staff and our politicians to push this economy forward the way that we all want to see it go. So we're certainly going to be not just a partner in word, but in action.
So very quickly, Chris, what would you say to the entrepreneur who's not in Hamilton, who's thinking of coming here?
I like what Mo said, to be quite honest. I think, you know, when you talk about the economy of Hamilton, you're talking about also the social fabric of Hamilton. And he's absolutely right. I mean, we all have to see it that way. This is just a great place to not just do business, but to live out your life. So I'm very proud of that.
And finally, Mo, Let's assume that there is an entrepreneur in the city right now who hears all the news about McMaster Innovation Park. What can they do to actually get involved?
University will offer access to tremendous talent. We believe that we can provide the brain power, if you like, for many of these new ideas. The university would offer also access to its facilities. And after all, this is taxpayers' money.
Right.
And it makes perfect sense that the community around us can benefit from the presence of these equipment.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you for the discussion today. Innovation requires a commitment to partnership. I mean, that's the theme that I got out of it. So thank you very much on behalf of the viewers of Think TV.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
3 things that I learned about how we drive innovation through partnerships in cities. The first thing is the concentration of cities is important because we have people together. The creative class is integrated together with the city infrastructure, giving them ample opportunity to socialize and share and collaborate with one another. This also allows for industries to cluster throughout their value chain together, and that's important for driving prosperity within the urban core. The second thing, partnership and resourcing with intellectual capital cores, specifically McMaster University and Mohawk College. The fact that businesses can actually partner with those educational institutions and actually drive really, really smart, high-level talent as part of their employees makes it a wonderful and easy partnership to make. And finally, businesses, a call to action. In order for these partnerships to work, you have to rise to the occasion and come up to bat. Business is what drives innovation through the partnership of the cities and the educational institutions that will bring the intellectual capital to bring innovation and prosperity to our city. A special thanks to our lead partner, the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, and our valuable sponsors, McMaster University, Mohawk College, and the City of Hamilton. For more information, go to our website, hamiltoneconomicsummit.ca. Thank you for joining us. Now you have something to think about.
This show is brought to you in part by For more information, go to hamiltoneconomicsummit.ca. This has been a Tweedle Productions Incorporated production.